Draco. You know hit. I just turned on. I'm feeling hella proper. I be making moves. Just got a couple dollars. Went through some crazy issues. Turned up a couple pots.
Alright, what up, y'all? So listen, me and my cuz, we were watching that Vlad interview with 10 Jake, right? And I'ma post a little part in that I'm talking about, right? But my cuz, he never been to jail, you hear me? He never been to jail, you know what I'm saying, law-abiding citizen or whatever. He never really saw like violence up close like that, right? You know what I'm saying? He didn't heard shootouts and all that type of stuff, but he never really like been in a fight, none of that type of shit, right? So when 10 Jake talked about the dude get hit in the head with the lock and it had a hole in his head, right? And
woke up. One of my bros popped a Zoe with a lock. So he had a big ass master lock that they took off the gate, tied it to his sock. He's sitting behind him. This is count time. So when you first wake up in the morning, everybody got to sit up. The COs go through and they start counting. So they're sitting up. My brother's sitting right behind the Zoe. Hits him in the back of the head with the lock. Boom, puts a hole in his shit. You hear him go, ugh. Everybody's mad quiet.
He put a hole in his skull?
He put a hole in his head. It looked like he got shot.
Yeah.
It took a big chunk out of his head. I had seen him at medical, but I'll get to that part.
he said, man, he lying. No damn lock can't put no hole in nobody's head or whatever. Make it look like he got shot. And I was trying to tell him, boy, shit, what? Yes, it could. Yes, it could, boy. That lock would damage you, you hear me, man? So I come here just in case anybody like him, they never saw it and they don't think that a lock could really put a hole in your shit, right? So I was in RCC, that's Rayburn Correctional Center, you hear me? And this dude I was cool with New York, you hear me, from New York, Kenny Mack, you hear me? He had this white dude, he like white, I think he was white or he was Spanish. He looked white dude, but I forgot if he was Spanish or he was really white, right? But he was in a dorm, and cause it was like win 1, win 2, win 3, win 4, right? So I was in win 4 and he was in win 3, right? And everybody was, you know, doing their thing or whatever. I was laying down, I'm asleep, I'm taking me a nap, you hear me? And dude come wake me up. He like, man, your partner, man, he about to get into it, whatever like that, right? So anyway, long story short, the white Spanish dude or whatever, he was making racial slurs in Spanish, right? Now, New York, see, I'm telling you, the way he talked, you wouldn't even think he'll do something like this, you hear me? Cause he was a, I ain't gonna say, he was just like a goody two-shoe, but that was, you know, the way he carried himself, like he was a businessman or whatever. He was a manager at McDonald's somewhere in New York, something like that. Like, I mean, bigger than the manager. I think he like owned the store, whatever. But he had some charges that he was facing down here in New Orleans. Came down to New Orleans, got caught up. You know, a lot of people go through that. Come to New Orleans, visit, and the next thing you know, they here for life. You hear me? It happens like that. But he got caught up and he was in jail, you know. But that's beside the point. Anyway, the dude was talking, saying racial slurs in Spanish, right? But New York knows Spanish. So he catch on to what dude was saying. So he tell dude, he like, man, listen, you say that again and I'm gonna fuck you up, you hear me? So I don't know if dude thought he was playing or he ain't think New York really knew. You know, I don't know what he thought, but he did it again. When he do it again, man, my nigga New York, they took the lock, you heard me? He took the lock off his box and bing, bow, boom, bing, bow, boom, bing. I'm talking about, man. You hear me? Damage. That boy was damaged goods. Man, that dude had holes in his head. We were like pussies. I'm talking about big old gashes, big old, you hear me? I'm talking about, see, just how 10 Jake said, Look like he got shot. Look like he got shot. I'm talking about big old, you hear me? All over his head, all in his face, big old gashes. I'm talking about big, son. It was the first time I ever saw somebody get beat with a lock like that, son. Like, if motherfucker would have said that before, I saw it with my own eyes, I would have thought, man, yeah, they can't get no hole in their head with no lock. That shit ain't gonna make, but man, listen up. Yes, it could. That bitch will have you hold it in the Bible. I'm telling you, that boy was open up, pussies everywhere. Open up, you hear me? And anyway, I might as well tell y'all how he ended up beating the shit, right? So like, he ain't beat it all the way, but he beat it. He beat it with the cause you know, if you beat somebody with a weapon, that's a different type of charge, right? Than just beating somebody with your bare hand. And so when the guards came and shit, he was saying that he must have hit him with something. And he was saying, I ain't hit him with nothing. I beat him with my fist or whatever like that. You hear me? They're like, man, you had to have something. He's like, I ain't got nothing. So he had went, before the guards and all that came, he had then went through the lock in the toilet. You hear me? Or beside the toilet, or in the toilet, one or the other, right? And but they ain't had no blood on it. I don't know if he had cleaned it off or what, but they ain't have no blood on it, right? But this old white dude, I think his name was Jimmy. It was Jimmy or Joy. I'm really leaning to Jimmy though. I think it was Jimmy. Old dude. Old little, you hear me, hunchback white boy, look like Mr. Burns on some shit, right? He called himself trying to, I ain't gonna say be a good Samaritan, cause it really was out of fear. He really was scared. Like, a lot of them white boys, they wanted him out of there because New York was one of them ones. See, he gonna talk his shit. He gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? So they want him out of there because he wasn't like the typical black dude that, you know, like, I ain't gonna say bow down, but he just not letting that shit fly. Like, other niggas that hear shit and all that shit and be like, man, fuck that white boy. You hear me? But not New York. So they want him out of there. Like I say, out of fear, so they can do their white boy shit like they do, right? So he called himself getting the lock and saying, yeah, here's the lock. Here's what he hit him with. Thought he was about to sink New York, right? Man, just his luck. They had, cause all our locks are signed to our box, right? And they got our name and our number, all that shit, and our locker number, all that written in the law, right? But he had just switched locks with this dude, right? So when they run the lock back and all that, they like, nah, this ain't his lock. You know? So he like, yeah, I told you, I beat him with my hand. How could I beat him with a lock? That ain't my lock. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he like, how could I get that dude lock if it was on his thing? That's not my lock. I didn't beat him with nothing or whatever like that. So he just got the little assault charge, went to lockdown, whatever. Come back in like 3 days, about 3-4 days, he back. I'm talking about, bruh, you hear me? He come back and that bitch smiling, like, you hear me? Like, yeah, beat that. What's up, little bruh? He come call me. I go on his side of the dome. You hear me? I'm like, man, what's down with it, man? I'm like, man, what the fuck happened? You hear me? Trying to get the rundown. You hear me? So he reiterated what I just told you about why he beat the dude with the lock and how he beat him. You hear me? Cause like, all I know, I saw about the last 3 licks in the aftermath of him, bloody and gashed up. You hear me? Hold up. You dig? And so he come, we about to go to child now, you hear me? We go to child now, it's feed up time, you hear me? So we going down the walk. That boy said, come here, little bro, let me show you something. That boy, the nigga Jimmy walking down the walk, that boy go, whoop, put his arm around that boy, you hear me? That boy, you know, he whispered some shit in his ear, you hear me? But basically he extorting this nigga right now, you hear me? Because before he walked out, he like, let me show you something. He said, I'm gonna show you how you do them white boys. Boy would put his arm around that boy, that boy walking, he whispered whatever he whispered to him. The next thing I knew, that boy like stopped, and, you know, cause I'm steady walking, cause we walking. But he stopped. So I walked up and he like, say, little bro, you want something off the stove? And I'm like, shit. What you think? I'm about to be like, nah, man, I'm good, I'm cool. Shit, what? Man, I need some soups, I need some paper, I need some more pens, I need an ice cream. That boy, yeah, you heard that, huh, Jimmy? And you better have it. Yeah, boy, like, you better have it. Something he said, but he like, yeah, you better have it. And guess what? Do you know that white boy had that shit? Man, when I said that boy had that shit, I was like, wow. I was like, damn. That nigga really just, come here. Whatever he whispered to that dude, bro, that dude knew that I don't want to be the next one with all these holes in my head. Everybody all fucked up. So he made sure he got that. And, you know, as we go on, after he walked off, because once he tell him all that, and he said, you better have it and all that, and I'm like, all right, now walk, go. You hear me? I'm talking about Zishin. You hear me? Zishin out this world. I was like, man, that my nigga. You hear me? So that boy, like, yeah, that's how you gotta do them old white cowards. He called himself trying to give the lock up. I said, I'm gonna show his ass. I ain't gonna put my hands on him unless he make me, but I'm gonna show his ass. And don't worry, little bro, you gonna get all that. He better have it all. I'm telling you. You know what I told him? I was like, damn. Part of me wanted to ask, man, what did you tell that boy? But I'm like, you know, hey, if he wanted me to know, he would have told me, right? Right? You know, so I just, whatever you told him, got him going. That boy had that shit. Stole date. Man, I had me the crazy cookie dough ice cream, the little yellow joint, Bluebell. We had Bluebell, you hear me? Had my paper, pen, and had me about 5-6 soups, you hear me? I was like, Lord, that boy got Zishin. And he had a whole gang of shit, you hear me? I'm like, man, I ain't lying. I felt like, man, I need to, you hear me, grab one of them white boys and, come here. Boy, let me tell you something, you hear me? But see, I ain't know what he told him, though, you hear me? If he would have told me what he told him, I swear I would have went grab one of them white boys and whispered the same thing in their ear. Boy, look, you hear me? And I better have it. You hear me? Well, yeah, that I didn't do that. Because I didn't know what he said. So, you know, but I'm just saying, yeah. Anyway, it felt like I got all the way off subject. Because the whole thing was that you could really put holes in somebody's head with a lock. Beating them with a lock, man, you would really put holes in somebody's head. Because I saw it personally, my eyes, 1, 2, saw it. Beat with a lock, holes in the head, for real. So 1090J not lying, alright? 1090J is not lying. When that boy said that boy had a hole in his head, looked like he got shot, I can see what he talking about because I saw it before. You hear me? For real. But man, I need to tell y'all about when New York had Trinity, and I'm talking about Trinity of Cutthroat Committee. Trinity, we were locked up together upstate and in the city jail, but this here took place upstate. New York had Trinity shook. I'm not lying. God rest the dead. I wish he was still alive when I talk about this, cause I would really get him, man. Tell the truth. Shame the devil, boy. You know he was scared. You hear me? You know he was scared, for real. If he wasn't scared, he sure fooled me. I know one thing, he ain't want no part of New York, you hear me? New York did not take kind of him talking about he was a Muslim, because New York was a Muslim, you hear me? But I'm going to tell y'all about that next time, about Trinity claiming he was a Muslim, and New York wasn't having it, and really wanted to jump on his ass, you hear me? I'm talking about for real. I'm going to tell y'all about that next time, though. But, yeah, remember, somebody get hit in their head with a lock, nigga ain't lying if they say they had holes in their head, because I saw it before. I'm out.